Okay, you're very welcome to Gerry's DIY. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to make stuff with this, stoves, waste oil burners, lots and lots of other DIY projects, you can start now by subscribing and click that bell icon so you don't miss anything. Okay, here we go. Today I'm going to make a waste oil burner out of what you see on the table. We have some 6-inch pipe, we have some 3-inch pipe, 4 inches high. I have a 9-inch disc, small bit of 6-inch pipe, maybe 1.5 inches wide by 6 inches in diameter. A little 6-inch disc, if I can pick it up, just mild steel. This is 2mm mild steel, and a length of 3 inches plate. Again, 2mm stick. And I'm going to turn this into a waste oil burner. There's about $5 worth of stuff on the table, and it's not hard to go from this and to turn it into something that can heat my shed. Okay, so it's freezing cold outside. It's just above zero, which is 32 Fahrenheit. It was -5 degrees C last night, which I think is about 23 Fahrenheit. Really cold, okay? The puddles outside, it rained heavy last night as well before it froze, and some of the puddles are still frozen, thick ice in them. Now, nobody wants to work in a cold or wet shed. Now, this shed happens to be dry, but it is cold. So this is my waste oil burner. If this is your first time here, you won't have seen this, but there's loads of videos on how I made this. It's a fantastic little setup. So I'm going to light it and get some heat going in here. Here we go. Here's my little waste oil burner. I've shown how to make this before, and I'll put a link in the description. But this is it for heat for me today. Here we go. So that goes in there. That's it, it's installed. Bit of fire lighter, just going to light that, throw it in, because I don't have any gas. Normally I hit this with turbo torch. I can't do that today. Well, not yet anyway. Okay, so just let that go a bit. Put it in there. I'm just going to put another one in. Normally I don't do it this way, but I want to make sure this lights first time. It's absolutely freezing here, it's bitter. Okay, so they're going. Now, this is just a carburetor disc. I just sit this on top. It concentrates the flame, makes a red hot area. So look, literally, it just sits on there. That's it. Okay. Now, because this is vaporizing pot, it needs to be red hot to vaporize any oil coming in. Now it's not red hot yet, so I just add some kerosene just to speed things up. Let's squirt in a bit. Okay, so that's it. I put in that much kerosene. Okay, so there's nothing happening at the moment. People are asking me about smoke, by the way. So you can see there's no smoke coming out here because there's enough draft, there's enough updraft draw, if you like, on the chimney to facilitate that, to suck all the air in through the door and up. There we go, not much of a draft. Okay, so now I'm going to give it some oil. Oil on. And now we just give it some time. Okay, I'm going in for some tea, and when I come back out here should be a lot warmer. Okay, so I've decided to stay out here while the heat comes up. The stove is on, you can probably hear it in the background, and it's working really well, I can see it. So, it just needs a bit of time to heat all that metal and then start radiating a lot of heat. It'll glow red hot now in a few minutes, so we just have to wait for that. Now, here we go. Here's the assembly setup for this thing. It's very easy, okay? This is 4 inches of 3-inch pipe. It could be anything. This is just what I happen to have in the shed, okay? Cut a hole in this, the same diameter as this, so that fits in there, okay? Right. What I want to do now is this flat steel. Now this is just the length I had. I think it's about 42 inches long or so. And what that needs to do is that needs to go around the outside of this and make like a pot, have walls on it. So I'm going to arc this, I'm going to bend it, tack it all the way around and then weld it because it needs to be oil tight. When I drop liquid in there, it needs not to go down through seams. Now, I suppose you could get away with a bit, but anyway, that's what I plan on doing. So this is going to be, around the circumference of this circle, and it's going to stand upright. And I'll show you that in a second. Now, when that's done, this 6-inch pipe, that's going to go there. Sit over the top of it. I'll show you why in a minute. and this guy is going to blank off the top of that. So essentially that's going to be like a little pot, tin can or whatever, you know, and it's going to sit down over the top of that. And you go, how could that be a waste out of board? I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, temperature is beginning to come up out here now. So I'm just going to weld this and kind of tack it around until I get a circle, or close to a circle. This doesn't have to be perfect. As I say, some 9-inch pipe would be preferable and easier to work with. You know, you cut one slice and you've already got the sides on. Okay. Okay, to make the welding a little bit easier, with this just tacked, I've decided I'm going to weld the pipe in the middle because I can clamp this in place and rotate it. So look, just 3 spacers. These are about 3/4 of an inch high. There you go. And that just keeps this up off the bottom. And it means that when I put this in my stove, that the pipe coming down through it acts as a locator, you know, that I can slide it left and right. So essentially that's what we have now, okay? And I'm going to weld all that so that there's no gaps. Now the next bit, this is mild steel, this is stainless steel, you know, still steel. I don't have, although that's a TIG welder, I have no gas. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tack these together and then I'm going to weld. So it'll be something like this. Now I have the kettle on, and I'm progressing this nicely. Now, I've done about maybe half an hour's worth of work on this at the minute. This was an output. If you remember that 42-inch length of 3-inch high, that's it. Surplus to requirements. This is the 6-inch flue, 6-inch pipe, stainless steel with the cap, and it's just I'm not finished welding it yet, but essentially that's it. Okay, this is the bit I am finished welding. So that's our 3-inch pipe, 4 inches high, and it's pushed down through the centre of that, so you can see it. Okay. So I've welded up those bits you saw on the table, and I ended up with this. Okay, so we've got more or less a pot with a pipe down through the middle of it. Okay, essentially that's all it is. I cut a little V groove on the front of it, and that's so it can slip in under my oil feed. And maybe you can see me through this. Okay, so, you know, nothing spectacular, nothing special. That's not really the magic. What happens is the air comes up through this bottom pipe and comes out into this space. Now remember, in my stove designs we've got 2 chambers. We have a chamber in the bottom which would be your ash door. Then I put in a separator plate with a hole in it. This sits over the hole so that all the air that comes into the second chamber comes through this pipe. Okay. Now I've explained this loads of times before. This is essentially exactly the same thing. The difference is this. Okay, so what have we got? We've got a 6-inch piece, a 6-inch cup really is what we have. You know, 6-inch diameter, and it's 4 inches high. And if you look, you can see these slots. Okay, now I made these slots a little over 1/4 of an inch, maybe 10 millimeters in height. So, spacings. Okay, so what I did was I divided out the circumference of this in 3. So it's pi times diameter, you know, so it's pi times 3.1 times 6 inches. And then I centered them, and I made these about 4 inches long. Okay, so they're centered. Now, what happens is the air comes through this pipe, then it comes through this bit, and it's forced out sideways. So that's the setup. Okay, so in operation, that goes into my stove. This goes over that. That's it, look, 2 pieces. You know, it couldn't be easier. And you go, well, you know, that can't work. I bet you it works. Now, I've put, you know, maybe an hour and a half into making this, and I haven't tried it before. So when I fire this up, this will be the first time I've seen it too. But I do expect it to work. Let's give it a shot. Now, earlier today, I made this. You know, I showed how it was made. essentially it's just a pot, okay? Little bit of welding and very easy, nothing special, you know. Okay, the difference is though, for a conventional burner, you know, you have a fan or something, you have it blowing in there, blowing on the oil, providing additional oxygen or air for combustion and so on. My design, my setup here doesn't require that. Now, we could do it, we can add more in if we want to, but essentially it doesn't need it. Okay, so we've got this. What happens is this sits in under there. That's it, it's actually installed in the unit now. All we need is this bit. No, I haven't tried this before. I don't know if I can get that in on. No, I can't. Alright. Okay, so if you can see this, I just need to assemble it first. Okay, so there we go. It's on. I'm going to put a couple of tabs in there just to locate it, you know, center it. But for now, it won't matter. Okay, so that's it. Look, center that. We've got 3 holes, 3 slots on the side of it that's going to provide air for combustion. What's going to happen is, as that air comes out, the flames get squashed against the side, this 2mm plate. The reason I use 2mm as opposed to maybe half-inch stuff is it gets red hot quicker. And once it gets red hot, then cold oil coming in, or you know, unvaporized oil, let's say, coming in, hits that red hot surface, boom, expands, becomes vapor, and then ignites. Okay, so this is my oil feed in. Now I've shown this particular setup in lots of previous videos. The difference is this is a different type of burner. This is the first time I've fired it, first time I've lit it, and I do expect it to work, but I don't know how well it will work yet, you know, untested or, you know, unmodified. Now I'm expecting I might have to put a band around it just to, you know, make this opening, the 3 10mm slots, maybe reduce them in size, maybe down to 3 or 4 or 5mm, I don't know yet, but we'll see. So look, I'm putting this on top because as the flame comes up here, I want to compress the flame. I want to make the flame stay in this area and redden this as much as possible. Then it gets out, travels through the stove and then up the flue. Here we go, that's the plan. Now, before I put all this in, we need a drop of kerosene. I've no gas for turbocharge at the minute. I'm actually going to make something, maybe tonight or tomorrow, on refilling my bottles. But for now anyway, look, I've got some fire lighter. I'll give this. And no gas in this either. Oh, we have. Okay, so we're getting low on gas. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in there just to start this off. Hopefully it stays lit. It does. Okay, second bit. You can see the flame just coming up around it. Now, in operation, that smoke is going up the chimney. It's not coming out into my room. People think I'm breathing in fumes and stuff. I just wouldn't. No. Okay, so both of those are lit. Now to redden this so that when we put cold, you know, motor oil in here or veggie oil, whatever we're using, I need to add some kerosene. Kerosene will get it red hot, then the kerosene burns off and we continue to burn then with just the waste oil. Okay, so let's squirt some of this in here. Okay, done that. And let's put this on top then. See what happens. I wasn't even sure how that would fit. It's alright. Okay. Actually, did you hear that roar? That's brilliant. Okay, that's a good noise. If we've got that, it means we've got aggressive mixing of the gases. So, we'll just let it burn, see what happens. Okay, I'll switch off this light. Now, this is the first time I've used my burner. You know, I showed it going into the system. I don't know if you can see it. The top of the stove is absolutely red here, down on the propane tank. The top of the stove is red as well. You know, in Fahrenheit, let's see, 1200, I don't know if you can see that. It's 1250 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to turn it down now at the moment. And I'm burning, well, yeah. Okay, so now I was burning a little more than 2 litres in there, maybe 3 litres in there, and for 3 litres in there, the whole thing is going to go nuclear and glow red. So I need to throttle back on that. The smoke situation outside, I can't really see it. I put the flashlight, or put the, you know, the Makita torch up through it, and I don't see any smoke, so everything's good out there. Top of the stove, glowing red, I'll show you that in a second. bottom of the stove glowing red. This burner is literally a roaring success, and I'm sure you can hear it there. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to end it there tonight. I'll do some more tests and stuff on this tomorrow. But so far, for something, you know, it's only 6 inches tall maybe, and less than $5, it's a fantastic and an absolute roaring success. This unit will go into any stove. Well, it will certainly go into my stoves anyway. This is one I made. I'm going to put it into a little cast iron stove so you can see better, with a big glass door, and you can see it function better maybe tomorrow or the day after. So okay, that's it for now. If you like the video, please thumbs up, subscribe down here, that'd be great. And if you've been with me before, that's fantastic. Thanks very much. I love the support, and the channel is beginning to grow, so great stuff. Thanks very much. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye for now.